Hey, Trailblazers, this is Jason, your host of the Trailblazing Texas podcast. Before we jump into our latest episode, I've got some incredible news for you. Are you gearing up for your next big hike or backpacking trip? Well, we at Trailblazing Texas podcast have partnered up with Trekker Joe's, the ultimate Texas outfitter, to bring you something I feel absolutely special. Listeners, you of the Trailblazing Texas podcast can now get a one-time 15% off their gear purchases at Trekker Joe's. That's right. Whether you're a first-time customer at Trekker Joe's or a repeat customer like me, you can save big and hit the trails well prepared. So upon checkout, use code TTP15 to claim your 15% discount and in the process support an amazing local Texas business. So happy trails, and don't forget to tell your hiking buddies. Now on with the episode. Welcome to the Trailblazing Texas podcast, where we embark on a journey through our diverse Texas landscapes and breathtaking trails while always engaging with our amazing Texas hiking community. So settle in, tighten up those bootlaces, and get ready for the thrilling tales awaiting for you on this episode. Yeah, and I think it's really important what you said, and to the listeners, that if you're in a group, you need to talk about these things when the hike doesn't go as planned, that there has to be a conversation and everybody has to feel that their input is of value. And it is, it's how they feel. If they don't feel comfortable about something, they should be able to voice that, and everybody should take it as, yeah, okay, it's important that this is how they feel, because how many times people get talked into or they don't speak up. And I don't know, like some of the stuff that we've done, the Free Holy Ridge at Guad, you're class 3 scrambling up this rock face. We always were able to talk about it. Henning's like, because I'm afraid of heights, even though I rock climb. Like, hey, how do you feel about this? And, the wind's 30, 40 miles an hour. Him and Sam had probably no issues to do it. I was like, yeah, I don't know that I could do this. I don't feel comfortable with it. So we had a discussion and we bailed probably about a mile from finishing, a mile to get to McKittrick Ranger Station. Our alternative was sliding down a mountain on our butts, 3,000 feet almost. So that was the bailout. But yeah, it was, I've never felt with them that I didn't have a voice, and, they're way more experienced than me. And what you said is so important, and that group dynamics
It is.
to create an environment where everybody feels that they have a voice and there's a discussion. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
And it also helps that, next time I invite them to come with me, they can say yes. I definitely, want that. And, knowing, because some things are unpredictable. I mentioned that I ended up having to bail out because of weather. If we would have stayed that area where we were planning to spend the night, it's a very area that gets overfloated really quick. So, you had to think the pros and cons, whether it's because of something physical, something mental. You had to have those conversations. And that's actually how I ended up experiencing once my first solo and only backpacking trip. I was doing with a good friend of mine, and she ended up telling me she was leaving, that she could not continue. And I'm like, okay, I got two options. Either I leave and go with her, or I stay and finish by myself. And it was 2 more days after that. And I waited in, and I was kind of like mentally prepared, and she left me, and I was dropped out at a different section, and I finished by myself, and was first and only time I've done solo backpacking. But, you know, those decisions, you have those conversations, and you can make your own decisions, or make them as a group.
That's funny that you just said that, because it leads into the next question. How do you work through the fear, discomfort, or self-doubt on trail? So like in that scenario, she leaves you. Yeah, I can do this solo, but then, there's fear, there's doubt, there's, "Oh, do I really wanna do this?" Like, how do you process that and also, like, to make, to me, the right decision to keep going because you can do this.
Yes, I like that. For that trip, by the way, it was one that I think also I invited myself to it.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing that a few times. I've done that a few times. Um, it was her trip. I invited myself, so she had the whole itinerary, and she had very valuable reasons why to leave the trail. So through that process, because she's also a fast hiker, she was way ahead of me. I knew from the beginning I was going to be hiking by myself for the most part, and we were going to find each other at camp. So thinking I'm going to have somebody at camp to be with me, it's one of the things that kind of ease my fears, because that's one thing I don't like. I don't like to camp alone. I have no problem hiking by myself, but camping alone, I've already experienced that. I did not like it. And so one of my ways of coping with that was like, who's going to be with me at camp? I'm going to have this in camp. I think a lot as to the things I'm going to do when I get to camp, aside from eating. A lot of my fears too, when I'm hiking by myself, I do a lot of thinking but not thinking. What I mean by that is that I'm just enjoying the trail, and whatever my mind navigates to, I let it be. I do a lot of praying, do a lot of conversation for myself and my soul, and that's the feeling that sometimes I cannot explain. It's not a soul searching, but it's just a reconnection with myself. And when I'm doing that, that's what I'm doing. I'm on my own. And I think that's one thing that keeps me from not being that much in fear. Now, if I hear things on the back, then I'm looking around, I'm stopping. If I see people, extra people, I'm trying to read the ambience and things like that, and see the environment. But the, you have to find ways of coping, if praying or listening to music or singing or just talking out loud, you can just do that. Those are the things that I do. When I'm by myself, you'll see me talking to myself or something, or just enjoying it, or singing, or stopping, taking videos, taking pictures. Those are the things that help me cope with my fear.
I know, like, for me, I love getting out in the quads at nighttime. I'm not, one of the final things that I have to do in the quads is I wanna see a mountain lion off in the distance.
Oh no.
I have no fear, like, hiking at night, camping at night by myself, hiking at night. You get me on the Lone Star hiking trail at night, and I'm about as scared as a I don't know what, and it's
It's different though.
because Bigfoot lives out there. I was through hiking the very first time back in 2019, and I had 3 guys that were brand new to hiking. So I was always, like, kind of ahead of them. So I'd always look back and I could see their, this was probably 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I could see their headlights through the trees, the trail, and I don't know if they stopped or somehow I got way ahead of them, but I looked back and I couldn't see anything. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna just stop right here." I was sitting on top of my backpack, just sitting there with my headlamp on, and then I turned the headlamp off, and within seconds of me turning off the headlamp, there were footsteps behind me. It's not a deer. I mean, I have 30 deer probably in my backyard right now eating up all our plants. But so I know what a deer sounds like walking through the forest. These were like human footsteps, like step, step. Man, I popped on my headlamp and I was looking, couldn't see anything. I got my backpack and started running back to them, made it back. I go, man, there's Bigfoot out there. So I have some kind of crazy things that I want to do in the Lone Star hiking trail for me. And what stops me is night hiking in the forest because I know Bigfoot's out there.
I got I believe you. I believe you. It's because your brain, your fears, they go into your brain, and no matter what, your imagination is just running.
Yeah.
I remember, experience already camping by myself. I did not like it. It was a little bit of a mix, but I really did not like it. I like to know there's somebody next to me, even if they snore the better, because guess what? There's somebody there with me. That's why
Yeah.
I said I prefer there's no one, because the person with the zipper, unless they're going in and out of the tent every night, that you might not hear it. to me, that's a good sense. Aside from that, we get to chit chat about how the day went or whatever plans for the next day and all that. Knowing I have someone next to me, it gives me a sense of peace. I'm not alone. We're good. We're good. And if somebody's gonna come and eat this burrito in a tent, I don't know. I'm not gonna be the first one,
No,
or not gonna be alone in there. It's funny. Your brain, and this is the thing, you feed your own fears, and then you go to sleep. Try to sleep with those fears in your brain. You're gonna start having nightmares.
yep, yep.
Back in 2021, that was my second trip to the Appalachian Trail. We did the Triple Crown. And I read in Far Out in one of the comments that there was two shelters before the McAfee Nap. One shelter that had water and another shelter with no water. Well, it was summertime, so you still see a lot of through hikers going there, and everybody was skipping the shelter. They was going to skip the shelter with no water. And I told my cousins, that's where we're staying, because we're not going to be worried about how many people is it crowded. But then I read in Far Out that there was some bear activity in that shelter. So all night while I'm asleep, my cousins tells me that I was saying, "Go away, bear," that I was talking on my dreams. So yeah, that fear stays in your brain and you're having nightmares later on about it.
Yeah, and you're definitely not gonna get any good sleep. And yes,
Mm-mm.
to the listeners, there is no Bigfoots in the Lone Star Hiking Trail, but to me, I was scared.
Yes.
So have you ever been on a trip where you've had injuries or any kind of physical limitations that have forced you to either adapt your plans or get off trail?
No, thank God, no. The only thing is that I'm a slow hiker and I tend to walk a little bit wobbling because of my back issues. So there was one area where we had to cross a creek, and the only way to crossing it was through a log. My balance is not the best, let me tell you, and it was very scared. But other than that, we did it. I didn't fail or anything. It took me forever, but we didn't have to quit. I've been able to complete them, most of them. And if anybody we've had to exit is because either somebody else gets sick or something happened. I've been good on that. I've been lucky, I guess.
Nice. So how do you balance pushing yourself versus honoring your body?
Adapting, adapting. That's why I have a plan B. When I make my itinerary, I'm looking at the trail and I'm looking at the different campsites. And I said, okay, I know what my body can do and cannot do. I am very conscious about that. I am not going to push my body. I mean, I'm 4'9". If that creek is 3 feet high, I'm not going to cross it. Come on. I know my limits. So I have to honor my body in that area. I have to know what I am capable and not capable of doing. I am not the type of hiker that will hike 20 miles in one day. I think the longest mile I've done is probably the 13 or 14. And I was exhausted,
Mhm.
and it that's the best way I can balance, if I know my limitations, I will adapt. And because of that, I'm looking at itinerary that at 10 miles, this is camp number one. There's camp number two at 8 miles, but there's also a camp number three at 13 miles. So I do give myself options because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling when I get there. One thing is how I'm feeling right now, and another thing is how am I going to feel there? What if I had something happen? Do we need to cut it short? So I prepared. That's one of the things that I've done, preparing those options and adapting just to honor my body because if I need to rest, I need to have a good sleep. That's want
Yeah.
to make sure. I want to make sure that at night we get a good night's sleep so we can recharge our body for the next day.
All right, so you're sitting there, let's say hiking season's around the corner. How do you plan for a trip?
How do I plan for a trip? I figure out where I want to go. Like right now, my goal is to finish the Ozark Highland Trail. And I right now I have only 48 miles of that trail to finish the original mile markers. That
Mhm.
trail is over 200 miles. I think it's 260 something, but the original is 164, and I have 48 miles and I'll be done with it. So how I planned, once I identify where I want to go, I figured out the miles, and depending on the miles, I figured out depending the number of days. I work full time, so I cannot through hike. I can take time off, but I don't know. I don't want to do that. So I try to take a long weekend or 5 days or something like that to enjoy and need to make sure, I have a husband, family to take care of, leave everything ready in here. And that's how I plan it. And then once I figure it and divide the dates, then I get on far out and start looking at elevation. So if I'm going to do a day with high elevation, that day I make sure that we don't do that many miles. If I'm going to be doing a day that is not that much elevation and is pretty okay, then we'll push for more miles on that day. And that's how I plan it. And then I start looking for information and far out. If that's not information, because a lot of the comments in there are not updated, then I go on Facebook pages and I start reading or look for videos of other people who've done them. I have a lot of friends who've done a lot of hikes, and I ask them, hey, how was your experience? There's a lot of campsites that are not registered in an application. And so I asked them, hey, and she said, "Oh yeah, there's a great campsite in here. It's not on far out. Look for it. It's one of the best campsites and things like that." You asked me earlier one of the best campsites that I camp on, and now talking to you, comes to my memory also another campsite at mile 59 in the Osa Highland Trail, and it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful campsite. So, but that my campsite is not in far out. It's because somebody told me about it. So that's how I prepare myself, and I that's how I do the planning, and then I start looking at, do we need a shuttle? Are we going to need someone to pick us up, drop us off, or can we leave one vehicle in one end, another vehicle in another end? Something that I do is also I look for exits. Let me see if we're doing this long mile, what are the exits in here? If something happened, can I bail out at what exit? That way, I can tell somebody, come pick me up in this point of exit. Those are usually the farm roads. I look for them, I write them down. I've been doing this I've been doing the last 2 years, and is I try to get information of emergency contacts, not just my emergency contact, but my partner's emergency contact. I also get the phone number of the local police department, phone number of local hospitals, and distance, which ones are closer. And I just give that
Yeah.
information to my husband just in case. I've been a little bit more conscious about stuff like that. Thank God, not because things have happened to me, because I don't know, just because anything is possible. So it gives me a sense of peace.
Absolutely. So what is one backpacking trip that you've had that stands out to you that's kinda meaningful to you?
Meaningful to me, I would say my first solo backpacking trip. I have several, and I can probably mention some of them, but that one, because it was the first time I did it by myself, not planned it, as I mentioned it before, but I did it. I spent those 2 nights, and it was amazing. It was in the Ozark Highline Trail, and it was a winter time, and it's just a sense of experience. It stands out. I'll never forget that feeling of I did that. I did a lot of creek crossing. I did a lot of night. I also did a lot of night hiking. Not fun. You said about hiking Guadalupe at night. I don't know. I mean, how many headlamps do you have on? Because that's pitch black over there. You cannot see anything.
Just
So,
one, but I carry 2 headlamps, I just use
okay.
1. No, it's pretty dark.
Yeah, it is.
But, you do get some nights, and especially it's in the later part of the night where you can get a really good moon
Mhm.
and where I mean, it's almost where you can not use a headlamp,
Mhm.
because the moon's so bright. And my good friend Henning, he can I don't know how he does it, probably military training, but he hikes and he doesn't use a light at all. He just he can see, and so whenever he makes me mad by leaving me on the trail, I'll catch up with him and I'll just pop my white light on, and it ruins his eyesight for about 10 or 15 minutes, so
It'll take him a while to get his eye, his eyes used to the dark and be able to see again. Oh, that's so mean.
yep. But he shouldn't leave me.
Exactly. That's what he gets.
I love this question, and it may be what you just said, but has there ever been a moment on trail where you felt deeply proud of yourself?
Oh, yes. It was that trip. I when I reached my vehicle, I just couldn't stop but crying. I did it,
Yeah.
I did it by myself. I conquered the fear of camping by myself. I I made it, and it's a proud moment. It's a proud moment saying I was able to do this. I was capable of doing it, and I feel proud. I was very proud of it. That trip, like I mentioned to you, although I did have a couple of nights, my friend camping with me before she left, I was by myself all the time. So it felt like the whole trip almost it was all me, by myself. So I was very proud of it. And making it to that car, when I saw that car, I was like, oh man, the emotions that come, it's
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop myself. I was just crying and I'm like, oh my God, clean clothes, smells clean, all that stuff, all that feeling. And it was just amazing. I did it and I'm very proud of that.
Isn't
That's
that
one of them.
crazy?
Yeah.
When we have these goals or we experience stuff or, we've done something, we pushed ourselves, like, how emotional that you feel inside.
It is. You just can't help yourself. Even it just some right here, and it's in your brain too. You're just full of adrenaline at the moment you're hiking, especially when you're doing through creek crossings. Because you're like, don't fall. You're by yourself. I got lost many times. I'm like, where am I? And the app is telling me that I'm going. I mean, I've got lost so many times, it's ridiculous. But the sense of accomplishment when you said, I did this, we finished, or I finished this, it's a sense of proud in the sense of, I did this, I'm able to do this, my body carried me to here. And you know what? Come, let's plan the next one.
Yeah.
That's where you want the next one. And you're like, I want more of this. And I think that as humans, feeling accomplished is important, whatever that is, if it's a day hike or anything that you do, that sense of feeling, we all should experience that. And that's just part of being, we seek that. That's normal.
This is like, it's gonna be interesting to hear your thoughts on this because, you love hiking, backpacking as much as me. Has the outdoors and kind of this lifestyle that we have, it's more than a hobby, right? Like, the
Mhm.
connection that we have to trails and stuff, it's a lifestyle. Have ever helped you through difficult seasons of life?
Yes. Yes, it has. Have you heard the saying that nature heals? Nature is medicine? It sure is. I lost my nephew in 2022. And before I became a mom, I became an auntie. So he was my first child. And he was only 31, in a car accident. And going through that next hike after that, it helped me cope a lot with that, a lot with it. It helped me heal it, and feeling it. So when there's a sense of loss, it's hard to explain. You feel connected, you embraced the situation, you go through memories, you relive them and you prayed and you try to feel at peace with everything. But nature heals. And I think nature is medicine. And I think that not just that, all the things in life. I've known a lot of friends who've gone through a lot of difficult things in life and they talk about how good they feel when you come out of there. Nobody comes crying out of the woods. You may go walk in crying and walk out smiling. That connection, that grounding with nature, it's medicine for your soul and for your heart. So, you know,
And, to the listeners, if you've never been out hiking or backpacking, you can, I mean, there's probably 90 episodes of guests that have been on the podcast that you talk about the same thing, that it is healing, it is
mhm,
medicine. There are times when I'm with some good friends and being on trail in the Guads in the backcountry, and it's the only time where they open up about things that they've been through, and yeah, it's just it's and also I think when you get out there and you're alone away from people maybe or away from towns and all this stuff, you're just reminded that there's something greater than us. Like
amen.
to me, it gives a purpose and that there's something bigger than me. And man, how blessed are we to be able to experience
Mhm,
this? Also, like whatever I'm going through or have been through, man, even at that moment of the pits of life, like there are people that have it way worse. And
mhm.
and even in that moment of just everything seems to be going wrong, you're still blessed.
Yeah. Whenever I hit the trail and I reach a peak or a view, it doesn't matter. I don't need to be at 14,000 feet to enjoy a view. I can be at 3,000 or whatever, and you have a beautiful view of the mountain or of the city. It it just tells you God is so good. I mean, there's
Yep,
nobody else could have created something as beautiful,
all the time.
perfect at this. And it makes you look back and say, you know what? The things you're going are nothing, and they're gonna go through, they're gonna be work out. And then you also then get to also appreciate the things you have at home, like a fresh water, a warm shower,
Yeah.
clean clothes and things like that. You come back appreciating all these other things that you day by day take for granted. They're just part of it, and you're thinking it's just given. When you are there, living in the woods for with limited items and all that, you just appreciate everything. Who would say that a dry food, rehydrated food will taste so good? I mean, would you eat that at home in a daily basis? No. But
No.
when you're there, how that tastes is just amazing. It's just the
Yeah.
most delicious meal you could have? So you appreciate everything.
Yeah, and that's exactly like getting in the outdoors, what's bad to say, but it's only, it only lasts for a short time, is the appreciation that you have for everything is amped up. And then, you get off trail, you come back to your comforts and home, and then you stop appreciating stuff. And yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, you come off trail and man, you're loving everything and you're realizing like truly how blessed to be able
Yes.
to get outdoors that we are. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It sure is.
absolutely.
Now that you're coming back already talking, when is the next trip? When are we doing this again? That's the number one thing I do, but I do come back appreciating, and it gives also other people's a little bit of break or yourself, get to miss me. Hey, you miss me, he said. I don't know. We talk about every day. we, we
Yep.
we text, we text. It's so funny because this last trip, although we have conversations through the InReach Messenger, made it to camp, left camp, those are my standard messages, proof of life, right? We did not have cell signal for 5 days. And it's so funny because on, I think it was day 4, we are climbing Bear Hut Mountain. And I was asking Barbara, do I have any pictures of that, of me struggling in this last trip? And she said, no, you were rocking it. I said, well, except Bear Hut. Yeah, no. And I said, I make sure I did not took any videos or pictures because I was struggling. I was like, when we made it to the top, to the trailhead, I was cussing like a sailor that trail. And all of a sudden, we hear the phones going like bling, 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 bling. We forgot we had signal. And I'm like, oh my God, we had signal. So we ended up calling our husbands and, calling the family. It feels so good. Yes, you are there enjoying everything and, not missing, trying to appreciate everything. But when you finally had that connection, connecting like, "Did you miss me? Did I miss seeing your face or something?" It's amazing. It's a good
No.
feeling. It was fun. It was very funny and got to see their faces and talk to them. So,
Yeah, nice. So when do you feel most connected to yourself on trail?
I think it's at the end in camp when I'm in bed. I think that's because throughout the day, I'm just so focused on the miles, on where we're going. Did we not miss the turn? Things like that, right? How many miles do we have left? Did we take the picture of this? I'm so focused on what's going on. At the end of the day, when I lay down in bed and I start going, oh wow, we did this, we did that, and I start looking at pictures, I'm like, oh my God, look at this view. And then I start thinking, start feeling everything. That's usually when I connect it the most at the end. It's like my body and my brain comes together at the end of the day. And I'm more relaxed. I'm tired and I'm more relaxed, but I get to, you know, feeling it all and taking it all in.
For me, it's during the hike, whether it's a backpacking trip. So during the days you're doing miles and, most of the time I'm with Henning and Sam, because they usually hike. They're way better shape than me, but they're way ahead of me. But I have this opportunity to be alone, and you just your mind starts thinking. The how blessed am I am to be out here, and so I think like for me, just when I get left behind, that's when I feel when I feel the closest connection to myself, and just experiencing that stuff by yourself, like
Mhm.
whether it's a peak or beautiful scenery, while you're climbing the elevation and stuff. But yeah, I just love that alone time. So
I do. I enjoy that. While I'm doing the hiking, I am connecting, but I think at that moment I'm processing everything. I'm going through that process of the feelings, of the thoughts. I've done the crying by myself while hiking. I've done the crying or the telling to myself, "What are you doing?"
yeah,
Questioning a lot of things. And I'm like, oh my God, I should have not gone that way. I should have gone this way, or this is a better rock than that other rock and things like that. But I'm so concentrated to and make it that next mile, make it to the campsite that I think that when all that stress go away, it's in,
yeah.
it's in camp. That's when my body goes like, okay, let's recap, and it just comes back inside of me. But it's a good thing that we can do that.
Absolutely. And so I'm in my 50s. You mentioned earlier you're in your 50s. So what would you say to someone, to a listener who feels that they're too old to start this journey that we're on, hiking and backpacking?
Age is a number. It's in the I think I read that the person who completed the through hike the Appalachian Trail was that person like in their 80s. So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
up there.
age is a number. You feel as old as you want to. I think that I mentioned yes, I'm 54, and I mobility to me is a key. Is life. If you because of your age, you stop doing the things that you want to do, you'll never do anything, then find something else. Find something else. But if you want to do this at this age, go for it. I'm not telling you go do the PCT or the CDT or Appalachian Trail. I'm not telling that, yeah, you can. If you could, you can, because people's physical condition changes. But age is a number. You have to do what you can and not limit yourself, because we are in an age where mobility is important and we need to keep ourselves as healthy as possible and as mobile as possible. It's important. I will say don't think about it and just do it. It is possible. There's a lot of group of people that do it together. There's a lot of information that you can find to figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it, and just go out there and get it done. Don't allow your age limit you.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, people that are getting into it, even young, old, they're nervous about doing it on their own. There are Facebook groups, hiking groups, there are trail clubs that so you can get involved with a group of people, women only hikes. So there's so much out there that yeah, don't let, oh, I think I'm gonna have to do this all by myself and I just not gonna do it or I'm too scared to do it. Like, yeah, get out there and, you will not regret it for sure.
You will not. You will not. I think that you have to know your limitations and your body and what you can and cannot do, and if you know that, then you should be able to go out there and enjoy a few things, walk for a few miles, find a good trail, nearby trail. You know what? The first time I did the Guadalupe Peak, I did it through a internet group of people, women that I've never met in my life. We met
Yep.
right there at the place, and actually also my current backpacking partner, Barbara, I met her through TikTok. In social media, she was actually hiking the Lone Star Trail. And that's how I was following her. And we ended up exchanging information. And one day I call her and say, it's been 2 years, said, I know you don't know me, but do you want to go on a backpacking trip with me? She said, yes. And it's been 2 years since we've been doing this. So there's always somebody going to say yes, find your people and there's people out there you can do it.
Shout out, Barbara. So, what advice would you give, especially for women that are hesitant to get into backpacking and hiking?
Just conquer your fear. Don't allow your fear to stop you from doing what you want to do. If that's the case, we'll never do anything. There are things that could happen out there, but be more conscious. Um, when I'm hiking, I don't hike with my AirPods on. I might have one on, one off, or I just both of them off. And if I want to play any music, I play very low on my phone where I can be the only one listening to it. Because trust me, I don't like people blasting music out loud on the
No.
trail. I'm not one of those, but that just keeps me, grounded and gives me entertained. Um, but don't think about it. Do it. There's groups of women out there doing. There's group of hiking for women only or mixed that you could do it. I think that doing your homework, it's very important. Know where you're going, find information about the trail that you're planning to hike, easy exits, know where you're going to be leaving your car, and be aware of your surroundings, but don't allow those fears to stop you from doing it. Because if you allow those fears, then you'll never get to do it. Have the courage to do it and enjoy it. Don't hesitate. Be smart. Follow your instincts, follow your gut. And if a place doesn't feel safe, just don't go. Get out of the car and find another one. Come back another day. There's a trail here where one day I went and I look at the parking lot and I didn't feel right. I just left and said, "I'll
Yeah.
just come back another day," and that's it. And be aware of your surroundings. That's very important too. And I think for the most part, and I'm not saying this to romanticize the hiking community, but for the most part, in my experience, the hiking community is a very friendly community, very helpful. And with that being said, everything is possible with anybody. You never know people's
No.
intentions, but that being my experience, and you'd be amazed, you'd be surprised how many good people are there.
So, if you look at kind of what your current habits, what habits have helped you stay active long term?
Going to the gym. In the last year and a half going to the gym, before discovering the gym, I will hike every weekend. I will hike every weekend and I will walk around my neighborhood. I like to be physical active. I've always been physical active. So just go for a hike, go for a walk. And lately it's been going to the gym. For my last trip, I was loading my pack, take it to the gym, do the trade master, stairmaster there and hike there. If I cannot do it there, I will load my pack here and just go up down the stairs in the house or walk inside of the house with it. That's the best thing that I've done, for my daily routines or activities. Just stay active, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think you 100% nailed that is be active.
Yeah, no matter what, be active.
So I like this question. What role has the community, the hiking and backpacking community, played in your journey?
Oh my God, it's amazing. First of all, trail maintenance. I don't think we could do what we do without them. The way those trails are maintained, thank God to the hiking community. Those trail maintenance are amazing. I'm so grateful for everybody that is part of those community and the hiking community. It brings a lot, it's a lot of unity. It's just a sense of connection,
Yeah.
no matter where you're from, who you are, how you look like, you need help, they're going to give you help. We have a shuttle did not wanted it to charge us. They just wanted it to help us and bringing us, picking us from the trail. They just bring so much to the community, not just the maintenance, but awareness and of the places, a sense of community, of belonging. You got a lot of people who are shuttles that do it for free. Others
Yeah.
do it. They of course, gas prices, you might as well charge. I get it, but the ability of having the people that can help you in those situations is amazing. The information that they have, trail angels, experiencing trail angels, that's
Yeah.
very great too, So I think the hacking community brings a lot of awareness of the places that need to be preserved and maintained. And plus, I think it's an amazing community, and I think I'm some way, somehow part of it in whatever little contribution I can do. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what has hiking taught you about aging?
it gets better. That
Yeah.
it gets better. I honestly think so. I don't think in my 20s I would do what I've been doing now. When you're young, you think you have the entire world in front of you and you can just do whatever, whenever, right? And that's maybe why you don't do things. But hiking with aging, I think it just teach me I am capable of doing this, that I can do this. And if I can, I'm gonna do it. I think that I bring experience and wisdom on the things that I do, but I enjoy it. And I'm not the type of person that likes to go from point A to point Z in a blink of an eye. No, I will stop and smell the roses, flowers in this
Yeah.
case. I'm gonna stop for every little thing that I find. If there's any side trail, I'm going to stop for it. I'm not in a rush. And I think that's probably part of the age too. As much as I want to enjoy things, I am not in a rush. I can take my time. I don't need to live too fast, too soon for things. I want to be able to stop and enjoy everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And of course, that I need to take care of myself a little bit more.
So how has the trail shaped who you are today?
I think that appreciating everything, the support of my family, the support of my husband, of my kids as well, being able to do that is amazing. When as a person, I'm a people's person and I love talking and all that, but loving life more. I think that the sense that I have, that appreciating what I'm capable of doing, but I also what I have at home and the blessings that I have, and not taking for granted anything at all. Things can change in a blink of an eye. So I try to live and take everything in, everything. I take a lot of pictures. And some people complain that I take too many pictures. But you know what? I tell
I
them
hear that all the time.
this is because these are moments that I might not get back. And I want to take it all in. It doesn't matter what little thing it is. I will take it all in. And when I cannot do it anymore, I'm going to look back and I said, I did that. Those are my memories. That's what I was able to do. So I think that hiking has taught me to appreciate the little things as well as the biggest things. And that appreciation and that love for nature and shape me as a person spiritually also has
Mhm.
been very big for me. I might not be a church person, but I'm a Christian person, and my connection to me, it's I think I get closer and closer, and whenever there are times that I feel that I'm not connected, I need to hit the trail. That's where I know I
Yep,
need to hit that trail and just be back to myself.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love that answer. So I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier about how the definition of success kind of changed over time for me, whether, we're not reaching the objectives to just appreciating just the first step on the trail, that's success for me. So how has your definition of success on trail changed over time?
Before, success was completing it, hitting every side trail, um, making sure that I get to see every single view. I can be a little bit OCD, so if all this needs to be done, I want to do them all. I want to take it all in certain order, insert order, right?
Yeah.
Right now I don't care. If I make it to the end in one piece, that's a successful trail. Before that, I will be so bummed if I missed something. If I missed taking a picture at the right on the right spot, if I miss to see whatever big rock or something, that to me was a success that I did it all. Right now is that I finish in one piece.
Oh, yep.
That's the
And you
main
didn't
thing.
have to call for rescue.
I did not have to go to rescue. I did not press that SOS button.
Yep, yep. So, like you've been hiking, backpacking for a bit. So, what still gets you excited or motivated before a hike or a backpacking trip?
Everything. Everything. I still get the butterflies. The moment I said I'm gonna do this, I'm already picturing, oh my God, I need to do this. It could be stressful. Don't get me wrong. It's not all roses and butterflies. It can be very stressful, putting all that itinerary together. But I think the whole process get me excited, a little bit good fear a little bit of the unknown, but it's a good feeling. I think it's exciting. Packing. It's exciting figuring out the food, weighing the food, changing the food from the original packet to a Ziploc, figuring out which coffee I'm bringing.
Bear box brew.
Oh, geez. Yes. That's so
They
good.
are.
So good. So, figuring out, hey, that I don't forget my medications, figuring out how many liters of water am I taking. All the things is exciting. It could be stressful too, don't get me wrong, but I love all that. And, then in the day of traveling, oh my God, that's just so excited. And then get to see my friends when I met them at the trail. We're just so excited and just so happy we're there. It's a whole happiness. That first step on the trail is just the most exciting moment, I think. I think it's a lot.
How do you want others to feel about listening to this episode?
I think I want people to know that it is possible. When you want to do
Mm,
something, you can just do it. Go and do it. Don't let life, work, bills and responsibilities stop you. I mean, don't stop taking care of them, but just plan around it. Take the time. You don't need to be gone for 6 months to accomplish a trail. You don't need to be gone for 5 days. You can do it in one overnight and it's still an amazing experience. Take the time to do it. Life is too short just to be working and not enjoying some adventures. And I think that it doesn't matter what age you start, you can do it. If you like it, you're going to love it. And if you love it, you're always going to want to do it more and more and more. So don't let life stop you, things in life stop you from doing what you want to do. Being capable and able to do this is an amazing feeling of accomplishment, and no one's going to take that away from you. Once you live through all this, those memories, they're going to stay with you. So go for it. Don't let life stop you. And that's what I want them to take, that you can do it even with physical conditions and limitations. Just adapt and make it
yeah.
happen.
All right. Last question. What is one message that you would like to leave to the listeners? And maybe you just stated it.
I think that don't wait to be ready to do it. Just hike on, get out there and do it. You're going to love it. You're going to like it. And if you don't, then find something else to do. But I think it's just that
Yeah,
life is too precious and too short, and nature is medicine. And just get out there, enjoy the trail. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to do.
I totally agree. Well, Wanda, you survived the lightning round and the podcast. Did you have fun?
I did. I did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity. I know when you invited me, I mentioned to you, I'm not a through hiker or anything like that. And it's one of those things that I feel proud of what I've done and of what I've accomplished. Life can get into you, and being blessed with the opportunity of doing what I do and share with other people. It's a great opportunity, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And you don't have to be a through hiker to be inspirational. And I think, your journey and what you're doing certainly is a motivator. And I think it's inspiring that other people like us, just normal people that maybe are scared to kind of take this plunge, that can, listen to your story, this episode, and just say, you know what, I'm tired of sitting on the couch and I'm gonna get out there and figure it out. So hey, I can't thank you enough. I had a blast, and you ever want to come back on the podcast, you just let me know. Any
I will. Thank you.
future trips or any of that stuff. And, again, thank you for taking the time out of your Saturday. And yeah, I mean, I thank you, and I can't wait to get this out and published. So I will release you, and you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
And that wraps up another exciting episode of the Trailblazing Texas podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode today, and stay tuned for our next episode, where we will pick back up where we left off and guarantee to uncover many more hiking gems and share many more tips to enhance your experience on the trail. Until then, happy trails and happy hiking.